Welcome to the ME channel, Metaphysical Entities. I'm your host, Greg Smith, and thank you for being here. As we delve into the fundamental principles of life and personal experiences, our mantra is life is a mystery to unravel, but never a problem to solve. As we realize there is always a resolution because problems are forever invented. Let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is about the word fear, as you can see in the background. Before I go into today's lessons, I'm gonna talk about the things that how I want to say this today that trigger the word fear to you. Right? It's certain things that always trigger the word fear to you. First, we look at things like this. Uncertainty comes to a word that triggers fear. Also, apprehensive. When you're being apprehensive on something, that also trigger the word fear. All right, now I'm gonna try some other things and other words that we can relate to, and I hope it relate to you too as well. Um, Going on an enterprise, taking a journey, or even going on an adventure. These are the things that came to me that can trigger what fear is. Okay, what do I mean by triggering fear? It's the things that trigger us the most. Some people, a trigger might be asking somebody out on a date or something like that, or just talking. Like at this point now, right? Fear could trigger me right now by talking to you in this camera. So it's always something that triggers fear. But most of all, fear is triggered because when we go inside, we know something that we feel that we want to do, how we want to do it, when we want to do it, and where we want to do it. But it's always a thought process again, like I said last week at the beginning of the show, that we try to reason with intuition and reason why we shouldn't do it or why we can't do it or why we shouldn't even try and go in and accomplish the things we can accomplish. Because we don't accomplish nothing in life if we don't get rid of fear. You don't fear getting up early in the morning going to work because why? That's something that you do on a daily basis. That's something that's normal to you, that you done predicted, that you predicate through your subconscious, that you say, okay, I'm gonna do this over and over and over again, like I said once before. But there's there's other things in our life that triggers fear that we don't understand. And to get through those things, we have to eliminate the fear of our subconscious, uh, the thing reaching our consciousness. So consciously, fear rise, but I apologize for that. But subconsciously, it stays with us because we know that's what we want to do. As you can see, I have some acronyms in the back. Most people have heard of the first acronym that I wrote up there: false evidence appearing real. Right. So I look at that as like this, right? After you go through what you're going to go through and you conquer that fear, like going on a roller coaster. Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to go down that hill and doing this and this. But it's something in you that excites you that once you want to get up on that ride and go down that hill. So everything that you thought of before you got on that roller coaster, it was false evidence appearing real. Just like when you wanted to ask that girl out for a date, or the girl wanted to ask the gentleman out for a date, and they thought all these thoughts in their head before they did it. They say, okay, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. He going to say no, he going to say yeah. There's only two options anyway, yes or no. So once you ask, and you had a choice, you had two choices. They're going to say yes or no, but you found out whatever it was that evidence was appearing was It was false evidence appearing real because out of those two choices, you didn't know which one of the choices that was going to happen. But when it did, they said yes or no. You seen that one was false. Because remember, it's only one truth. It's only one truth. If you put an S on the end, it's no longer true. If you put a UN in front of it, it's no longer true. So it's only one. Now, don't get it messed up. I'm not here to give you false information or false hope. There can be two things that's true at the same time. Yes, there can be. That I'm sitting here talking to you, that can be true, and you sitting there listening to me. So those are two things that could be true at one time. So on that other acronym that's down there, forgetting everything and reacting, that's one I made up. Okay, because I'm quite sure a lot of people have may heard of the false evidence appearing real. If you didn't, here it go. But I came up with forgetting everything and reacting because after you find out that false evidence appearing real, you come to a point where you forget again, forgetting everything and reacting. You reacted to that same mental process that okay, apprehensiveness set in, and then you thought, okay, scarcity. Is this an illusion? What's going on? So, what I want to break down is if you forget everything that you think you know and listen to within, listen to your intuition, you won't have a false evidence appearing real, nor will you have a forgetting everything and react. Because if you react to something after you forgot it, it's false hope. So if you have false evidence appearing real, you looking at something within your mental capacity that you think that's going to happen that's really not going to happen. I can tell you this. I bet you everybody on that's watching this have seen some evidence that wasn't real, that they thought was real, or they thought was going to happen, or perceive it to be that way, but your intuitive guide within you showed you otherwise. So, again, on this show, I'm going to talk about these are life experiences that we can't get away from. They fundamental. We skip those things. We skip, you know why? I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why, but I didn't want to discuss it on this show, but I'm going to give you a snippet of it because we look at understanding and education, right? Everything can be used in a duality for good or for bad. So when it comes to knowledge, right? The knowledge is we use it for good and we use it for bad. But what happened with it, we start reasoning and think we know because we try to theoreticalize, if that's a word, theoretically, what we try to do is reason and bring up our own theory of why things should happen and why it should be. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, our intuitive guide, our intuition, it never lies. It knows all. It knows the truth. But many of us don't want to recognize with that. We really don't. We don't. And it's okay because I'm not exempt from that. Shoot, I'm still a work in progress. I'm always gonna be a work in progress because soon I think I got myself figured out. I'm gonna do like this. Something else done arise. Now I got to get through this and try to figure out this. And then when that happens, just what? That word fear comes up because I fear what I don't understand. And when I fear what I don't understand, I'm gonna tell you what I do to release the pressure, the fear, what I don't understand. What I do is I try to come in harmony with it because soon I come in harmony with it, I can understand it better. I sit back and I say, "Oh, okay, this is what it is," because it ain't gonna be clear in the beginning. Nothing is never clear in the beginning. This is why. When you tied your shoe, I bet you ain't get it right the first time you tried to tie your shoe. You ain't get it right. But the thing is, you didn't fear to do it again, 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 and again. And that's called breaking that cycle. And what I talked about last week on the show in the beginning is breaking the paradigm. You got to forget everything you think you know and start all over and then incorporate the things you know so you can better yourself. Most of us, and it's okay because to each his own. I'm just here to give the little wisdom that I have that was given to me in a fundamental way, elementary way. I'm not trying to use no gigantic words, which I can, and no big words or try to get you to follow a specific guide. I don't want you to follow that. I want you to follow yourself. Your guide is your intuitive guide. That's always right. And like I said, don't reason with it. Because when you reason with it, you always gonna come up with the wrong answer. Because it's never wrong. Your intuition and your intuitive guide is always right. It's never wrong. So again, I appreciate everyone who's watching this video or who's gonna watch this video. You know, I'm starting off with some things that I feel that I need to share with you, with fear and last week the beginning and your intuitive guide. I just want to thank you for being here, supporting the channel. And if you want to subscribe. If you like the content, leave a message. If I can get back, I will. I'm new to this, just like you may be new to my channel. If you want to know a little more information, I wrote a book. I wrote several books, but this is the one that's out. It's My Journey to Destiny and Spiritual Awakening by me, Greg Smith. You see my name on the top. And you can find that book on any platform: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Google Play, iTunes. Any platform is there. If you want to know a little more about me and what I do. But before I leave, I'm always going to leave you with this message as part of the show. Don't consider nothing to be true by believing. Know it to be true by direct cognition. Thank you again for being here, and I'll see you next week. Take care.